sprinter, pro cyclist Fabio Jakobsen and his mysterious disappearing S-Works. Ooh, conspiracy. Essentially, Fabio Jakobsen crashed in a Tour de France stage during a sprint and snapped his S-Works race bike in half. And he posted a photo on Instagram of it. The bike is broken, the body is bruised and burnt, but the morale is intact, Fabio said.
I've seen the photo.
It's pretty gnarly, like bike in half. Seen quite a few situations like that firsthand in my life. These things do happen. Then the photo mysteriously disappeared.
Well, it wasn't mysterious. He deleted it.
He deleted it mysteriously.
Presumably by the request of various sponsors or probably his team management, I would have thought.
The post was quickly taken down. It was replaced by a carousel of images in which his bike was carefully hidden behind him so you can see it was broken. The new caption simply said, "Thanks to everyone for your support and messages. They mean a lot to me."
So, I could see why a bike sponsor would not want that picture in the world, because people will start questioning whether the bike was safe or not, or whether you should buy that bike because it might crack. But I guess what we know is if you crash hard enough on carbon, it will
going to break. Yeah. Full credit to, not credit, but full understanding to, it's not because the bike is any more delicate than all carbon bikes. If you crash them really hard at the speeds, like in a bunch sprint in the Tour de France, they're going to break.
But
it's bad luck.
We do know a bit of insider info on this sort of topic, don't we? From Carbon Man Rob.
Potentially.
I think we discussed this previously in a podcast as well. Isn't it that the pro bikes have less
resin?
Essentially,
he has, in his educated opinion, he thinks that a lot of race bikes that are being raced at pro level are built in a way they're slightly more fragile, but faster for racing.
So there is a possibility, speculation, that the frame had less resin and therefore it would be easier to crack?
Potentially, yes.
But definitely speculation.
Definitely speculation.
But that wouldn't even be a consumer model anyway.
It's going to break anyway.
Yeah.
If you were on a consumer bike, it would break anyway. Absolutely.
I'm glad that he's all right. Well, obviously not like perfect, but I'm glad he hasn't had a very significant injury.
Yeah.
That was obviously a very big crash for the frame to crack as bad as it did.
I always find it amazing how many people in crashes like that still just get up and...
Certainly pro, but not normal people.
No, of course.
Did you know?
It's spare bike stuff, and obviously it's in the last, if it's in the sprint, I've got to finish the race.
Do you remember we were actually talking about it on one of the many hours of driving over the last 5 days, where I was saying that I think it was when we were somewhere really windy, and I was doing a warm-up for a TT, and it was unbelievably windy. This is like a decade ago. And I was on the tops on the TT bike, and I was warming up going, this is so windy. There's no way I'm going to be able to get on the extensions for this.
Yeah.
And then I was on the start line, and as soon as they set me off, I was on the extensions for the whole 10-mile TT.
It's a separate thing, isn't it?
Didn't even think about it. Like once the race starts and you are a racer, because I was at that time, like it's just a mentality, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You just do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what a lot of these people do is they crash and they don't think, I've crashed, this really hurts. I'd like to stop now, like normal people.
I don't know. You jump up. The faster you get up and carry on. But yeah, of course. Of course.
It is wild.
So I guess the question is, I don't know where this, the command came from. Was it Specialized that asked him to take it down? Was it the team that realized that maybe they shouldn't have posted it, asked him to take it down? Whatever the case, it's had completely the opposite effect to what they wanted. And there's people like us, we're not the first people to cover it, talking about it in podcasts and using it as thumbnails. And now the picture is more widely spread than it probably would have been in the first place. So completely opposite effect. Don't try and sweep stuff under the rug. It just doesn't work. Once it's on the internet, it's on the internet.
I think like from a brand perspective, there is damage limitation or potential damage limitation, but you need to just deal with it in a different way rather than just hiding it.
Yeah, of course.
It'd be much better if whoever had an issue with it and said to pull it down actually commented on it, addressed it, spoke about it.
Do you think Fabio Jakobsen manages his own Instagram? He's a big name, but he wasn't a big, like, he might be at that point where someone should be managing it.
Well, some of the pros will have people managing it, and some of them, especially at big events, might have people managing it just for the big events.
Mm.
It's 50-50. It might be himself, it might be someone else. It could have been, a relative, like a loved one that does it for him whilst he's there.
Yeah.
Perhaps he wouldn't have put it up himself, and it was someone in his team that thought it was appropriate.
Yeah.
But, good question.
Yeah. We reached out to Specialized to see if they had any comment on the bike braking, and they have not replied to us.
At the time of recording, we've had no reply.
Mm-hmm.